welcome back to Nobody Underestimate and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. And today is a big show because it is the Spring Breakin episode of NXT. Kind of like a TV special. And yeah, some big matches on there. We've got Carmelo Hayes' first title defense, and we've got Braun Breaker in action. There's lots going on, and we started things off with our first match, which was Tony D and Stacks taking on Pretty Deadly. Before that, we kicked off a short intro where the superstars were at a Springsteen picnic and Height Tonight's card before we headed for the match. The match kicked off outside of the ring as both teams were out. Tony D and Stacks in control. Chairs, wheelbarrows and trash can lids were all around the ring, while a custom vintage Dodge was parked backstage for the teams to stand stuff at each other inside. Tony and Stacks beat Pretty Deadly down with trash can lids before setting up a table, but the former tag champs ran back and took the table down. Tony ran one of them over with a wheelbarrow before dumping them both with an inflatable pool filled with balls. Stacks then followed up with a pretty big dive into the ball pit as we headed for a break. Back on NXT, Deadly were in control for a bit before Tony D and Stacks took them down with steel chairs. Tony tossed Stacks into the corner but missed out, taking his teammate out. Stacks was hung up in the corner before Wilson and Prince hit Tony with a suplex on a trash can. Wilson and Prince then hit split milk at ringside before dumping Stacks in the trunk. The Deadly then dragged Tony to the trunk before Stacks sprayed them with a fire extinguisher. Tony hit one of them with a crowbar and put the other through the table before dumping them in the truck and driving away. This gets a 7 out of 10 from me. This was a really, really fun match, I have to say. Big win for Tony D and Stacks. Pretty Deadly. I think they could be main roster bound. I kind of feel like they've done everything they need to do in NXT. But yeah, this was chaotic and really entertaining stuff. So it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Good start to NXT. Stuff on NXT, it was Braun Breaker and Andre Chase battling out. Chase unloaded on Breaker off the bat, but Braun came back with a series of spears in the corner. Andre tried to fight back, but took a big suplex before sidestepping a spear, sending Braun to the ring post. Andre got a leg sweep, but Braun blocked the hit kicks before locking in the Steiner recliner. Chase tapped out instantly, and Braun picked up the win. Gets 7 out of 10 from me. Good first match for Braun since turning heel. It seems like his intentions may have been clear after later on in the show. But yeah, dominant win. Chase, he can kind of beat a loss. So yeah, perfect opponent really. Ilya Dragunov was then entering the arena when Dijak met him with a big boot and beat him down. Dijak took him down and closed the garage door on his chest before officials came in and helped Ilya. Really looking forward to that match when it happens. It's going to be great. Before it's time for our next match, which was Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria, and Valkyria was in control and got a big hook toss before getting a near fall off a springboard move. Back after a break, Cora got some big moves and slapped Valkyria to taunt her before she was sent outside off a counter. Valkyria then hit a big kick through the ropes before getting a missile drop kick in the ring. Cora kicked out of a suplex before getting a weapon from the outside in the ring. The ref stopped her and took the weapon away before Cora got a DDT off the distraction for the win. Gets 6 out of 10 from me. Kind of a simple win for Cora on her return match. Not too difficult. Definitely building up for a women's title match, which I can't wait, but not bad stuff. Tony and Stacks were still driving with Pretty Deadly in their truck, and the duo woke up in the trunk and were making noise when Stacks got out and told them to shut up as they resumed their journey. As Carmelo Hayes and Grace Waller then battled it out for the NXT title surprisingly early in the card. Hayes got some big moves early on and countered a big move off the ropes before getting a suplex. Waller was then went outside and was tossed to steel chairs to distract the ref before beating Trick Williams down at ringside with another chair. Waller caught Hayes in a Boston Crab before he learned that Williams was carried off ringside during a break. Hayes came back with a DDT and got a near fall before dodging the rolling counter. Waller then got the rolling counter on the next try, and Hayes rolled out of the ring before he could be pinned. Waller set the champ up on the announcer's desk and got an elbow drop from the top rope before getting a near fall in the ring. Waller tried for the cutter again but got caught on the ropes, and Hayes came back with a kick to the head but nothing but net before picking up the win. After the match, he called out Braun Breaker and challenged him to a title match at Battlegrounds. Breaker's music hit and came out from behind, attacking Williams with a spear before locking in the recliner. Once Trick was down, Braun went after Hayes and speared him through the wall. So it seems like that's what we're getting after all. Bit of a surprise because I thought maybe Braun would be going out during the draft, but maybe not. But yeah, can't wait for the rematch. That's going to be great, especially with a heel Braun. This was good as well. Good first steps for Carmelo Hayes' title reigns, and 7 out of 10 from me. Backstage, Joe Gacy challenged Joe Coffey to a match where if Gacy wins, the Dyer will get another tag team title shot. If Joe wins, the Dyer won't receive a shot for as long as Gallus are champions. Before it's time for Brooks, Jensen and Kiana James versus Fallon Henry and Josh Briggs. Briggs and Jensen kicked off the match and the latter was sent outside before Kiana tagged herself in. Henry came in and took some shots before Kiana took her down into the corner. Henry then got a kick and was about to hit a big move, but Jensen got in the way. Briggs came in with a baseball slider and took Jensen out before he and Henry cleared the ring, and we headed for a break. Back after a break on NXT, Briggs was beating up his former best friend before Kiana distracted him and Henry attacked her at ringside. Jensen came back with a kick off the counter before Briggs took him down again. Henry was taken out at ringside by James before the latter tossed her in the bag to Jensen in the ring. Jensen tried to attack Briggs but hit James instead, taking her out. After distraction, Briggs got a lariat and picked up the win. And yeah, a heartbreaking end for this, as after the match, James was about to slap Jensen and tell him that she never loved him before walking off. Briggs came in behind him and the two were back to being friends once more. Who'd have thought it? But yeah, I mean, it gets a 6 out of 10 for me. I can't say I'm massively into the storyline, but did enjoy somewhat of the drama here. So yeah, it's fine, I suppose. It gets a 6 out of 10 from me. We then saw hidden camera style footage of Sol Rooker getting attacked earlier in the day before it's time for Ori Mensah versus Obafemi. Femi had control of the match earlier and was tossing Mensah around the ring. Femi hit some big tackles and lifted Mensah with one hand before sending him outside. Back in the ring, Ori came back with some elbows and clotheslines before getting a top rope kick. Femi then took Mensah down and hit a big powerbomb before picking up the win. And yeah, I mean, Obafemi, they're building him up. I kind of like him, to be honest. I've only seen him once, but you know, I'm liking him at the moment. And yeah, excited to see what they can do with him. So, but yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me here. Yeah, not much more to say. Gigi Dolan then came out to the announcers and said she will face JC Jane and her brother will be at ringside next week. So that'll be interesting. Before it's time for Indy Hartwell versus Roxanne versus Tiffany in a women's championship match. The champ was sent outside early. Stratton and Perez fought it out in the ring. Indy came back and Roxanne hit a double move before clearing the ring and hitting 2 big dives to the outside. Perez then hit a third dive before dragging Indy back inside and getting near fall off a top rope crossbody. Stratton then broke up him before drop kicking Indy outside and hitting a moonsault on their opponents. Indy may have hurt herself on the move since we saw the medical team step in and take her aside for a bit as the match went on. Indy limped on her way into the ring and got a bit of a spine buster on Stratton, but Perez broke out. Stratton then got a moonsault on Perez in the ring before Hartwell dragged her outside before she could get the pin. Indy then went for the pin herself after an elbow went to the back of the head of Perez and picked up the win. And yeah, I hope Indy's alright because it seems like she may have suffered a really nasty ankle injury. But yeah, fair play to her for finishing the match, and she will retain again. Really have an opportunity to make her out of a big baby face like this. Hopefully it's not too serious. But yeah, really fun match apart from that. And yeah, gets 7 out of 10 from me. Indy Hartwell, yeah, I'm really being won over by Rain. I'm excited to see what she can do with the belt. Fingers crossed going forward. Elsewhere on the show, we saw Tony D and Stacks at a riverbank and the trunk of their car was empty, hinting at the fact they sent Pretty Deadly into the water before drying off as NXT went off the air. So yeah, kind of reiterating my belief that Pretty Deadly and main roster bound, and they deserve it. But overall this week, NXT gets 7 out of 10 from me. For a TV special, yeah, I thought this was actually a really good episode of NXT. Really enjoyable stuff, I have to say. Some good matches throughout the card. I think most of the decisions made throughout it were kind of... the ones I would have made, and just some really good quality in ring action. So yeah, good stuff. But anyway, guys, that's it for video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Any thoughts, comments, and find for daily wrestling news and subscribe to my channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.